Hey everyone, welcome to this powerful video. Our topic today is not just important. It might be the most important decision you ever make for your peace, your success, and your survival. This video is titled, How to Focus on Yourself. And I want you to stay with me until the very end, because this video is not just advice. It is a mirror that will show you how much of your life you've spent caring about people who never cared back. A mirror that will reveal the truth. You've been giving your energy to everything and everyone except the one person who actually needs it, you. This is not about being selfish. This is not about ignoring others. It is not about becoming cold or arrogant or distant. This is about survival. Because if you don't focus on yourself now, you'll continue to live a life built on guilt, distraction, emotional exhaustion, and invisible pain. You'll keep answering messages that make you feel empty. You'll keep showing up for people who wouldn't even notice if you disappeared. You'll keep giving your time, your heart, your soul to people who give nothing in return. And you'll wonder why you're always tired, why you're stuck, why you don't feel like yourself anymore. Somewhere along the way, you forgot that your life belongs to you. Not to your critics, not to your parents, not to your followers, not to the people who ghosted you, not to the ones who hurt you, not to anyone who makes you feel like you're too much or never enough. This is your sign to come back to yourself. To reset, to restart, to finally focus on your peace, your growth, your energy, your mind, your future. And in this video, I will take you through some of the most powerful, brutally honest, life-changing steps to help you do exactly that. Each step is a truth bomb, real, honest, transformational. This is the video I wish someone had given me when I was lost, when I was chasing people, when I was overthinking every word I said, when I was shrinking myself to keep others comfortable. If you're tired of feeling drained, if you're done being ignored, if you're ready to finally become the main character in your own life, this is for you. This video will not only help you focus on yourself, it will also improve your English. As you listen, you'll learn powerful vocabulary, emotional expression, and clear thinking in English. Take a deep breath. Let's begin. First, you must understand why focusing on yourself is not optional anymore. It is urgent. It is essential. It is the only way forward. Because if you don't focus on yourself, someone else will control your focus for you. And when they control your focus, they control your decisions, your time, your emotions, your life. When you were a child, you were taught how to listen to others, how to behave, how to follow, how to please. But almost no one taught you how to listen to yourself. So you grew up believing that your life was meant to revolve around others, making them proud, keeping them happy, earning their approval, chasing validation, answering their expectations. And slowly, you forgot how to focus on your own needs. You forgot what makes you happy. You forgot how to be still. You forgot to ask, what do I want? Now your mind is full of noise from social media, noise from gossip, noise from toxic people who want your attention but not your healing. Here's what most people never realize. You will never build the life you want if your mind is constantly controlled by the lives of others. How can you create your future when you're still focused on your past? How can you build peace when you let people disturb your silence? How can you discover yourself when you never spend time alone? Self-focus is not a luxury. It is survival. It is your way of saying, I'm done giving 100% to people who give me 10%. I'm done waking up for others and falling asleep with regret. I'm done breaking myself into pieces to keep others whole. Some people will call you selfish. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're ignoring them. They'll try to guilt you for choosing yourself. Remember this, the people who were using you will be the first to complain when you stop giving them free access to your energy. Let them talk. This is your life, not theirs. Your peace is not up for discussion. Your growth is not a group project. Your energy is not public property. When you start truly focusing on yourself, everything changes. You heal faster, you think more clearly, you attract better people, you stop chasing what isn't meant for you, and you finally feel free. Until you believe that you matter, you will keep letting others decide your worth. The more you focus on yourself, the less you need anyone's permission to become who you were always meant to be. Now let's talk about why speaking less creates greater results. Most people talk too much, not because they're confident, but because they're afraid of silence. They talk to prove themselves, to be liked, to fill the awkward space in their mind that whispers, "If I stay silent, maybe they'll think I'm boring or dumb." But silence is power. When you talk less, you listen more, observe deeper, think smarter, understand faster. You control the room without forcing anything. Talking too much usually comes from insecurity. Needing to explain yourself, justify your choices, prove your intelligence, or keep everyone comfortable. Ask yourself, why are you trying so hard to be understood by people who don't even understand themselves? Why are you over-explaining your life to people who won't even remember the conversation tomorrow? When you start talking less, everything shifts. You gain clarity. You stop exposing your plans too early, because no one can sabotage what they don't know. You become unpredictable. And in this world, mystery is a weapon. You protect your energy because words cost energy. Silence protects it. You increase your impact because when you speak rarely, people listen deeply. There are always two types of people in a room. The one who talks constantly, and the one who listens, observes, and speaks only when necessary. At first, people pay attention to the talker. But by the end, they respect the quiet one. Because when that person finally speaks, their words carry weight. This is how leaders move. This is how strong minds operate. This is how self-focused people protect their peace. Stop talking about your dreams. Build them. You don't need to post every move. You don't need to explain why you're changing. You don't need to tell others your next step. Let them wonder. Your silence should be construction, not emptiness. While others gossip, you build. While others update the world, you upgrade your life. Stop giving free access to your emotions. You are not a book for everyone to read. You are not a therapy center for people who vanish when you need them. You are not a microphone for other people's opinions. Speak less about what hurt you, who ghosted you, why you're changing, what you're planning, or where you're going. Instead, start watching. Start learning. Start working. Start growing. Your next level requires less noise and more silence. Less performance and more preparation. If you want to rise in life, protect your words. If you want to focus on yourself, limit who gets access to your voice. You don't need to say everything you think, respond to every insult, correct every misunderstanding, or explain who you are. You are not here to be consumed. You are here to create. Talk less, move smarter, build silently, and let your results speak for you. The loudest thing about you, how to ignore negativity. You will never have peace if you try to control every insult, reply to every troll, or fix every misunderstanding. You must learn to ignore or stay broken forever. This step is simple to understand but one of the hardest to practice because we are human. We want to be liked. We want to be understood. We want to prove our side. We want to defend ourselves. We want to scream, "That's not true," when someone lies about us. But here's the truth. If you react to every insult, you'll lose energy faster than you can ever rebuild it. Imagine this, you're building a beautiful home. Every day you lay one brick. You focus. You work. You plan. You give everything you have. But every time a neighbor shouts something at you from across the street, you drop your tools, walk over, argue, defend yourself. Only to realize that by the end of the day, nothing got built except your anger. That's what reacting to negativity does. It doesn't protect your peace. It destroys your progress. If someone calls you a failure, does that make you one? If someone ignores you, does that mean you're unworthy? If someone criticizes you, does that make them right? No. It only means they have opinions, and opinions don't pay your bills. Opinions don't heal your trauma. Opinions don't build your dreams. Opinions don't matter unless you decide they matter. This is why focusing on yourself requires emotional filters. You can't stop the world from being negative, but you can stop your mind from absorbing it. Here's how to strengthen the skill of ignoring negativity. Mute to protect your peace. Unfollow pages that make you feel behind. Mute people who trigger you. This isn't rude, it's self-respect. Stop explaining yourself to people who already chose not to understand you. Once you master this, you'll escape countless emotional traps. Turn pain into purpose, not drama. If someone betrayed you, use it to become stronger, not louder. Guard your emotional energy like a bank account. You wouldn't hand out money to strangers, so why give your attention, your focus, your energy to random online haters or toxic family members? Learn the art of walking away quietly, without noise, without drama, without guilt. That is power. Some fights are won by silence. Some arguments are ended by absence. Some relationships are healed by ending them. Don't be afraid to protect your mind. Don't feel guilty for creating distance. Don't feel weak for choosing peace. When you stop explaining, stop defending, and stop reacting, you begin healing. And you cannot focus on yourself while you're addicted to defending yourself. The world will always be loud, but you don't have to let it live inside your head. Train your silence. Protect your mind. Ignore what doesn't help you grow. That is what powerful people do. The power of discipline and consistency. Let's be honest. Most people don't fail because they are unlucky. They fail because they cannot stay consistent long enough to succeed. They start but don't continue. They get excited but disappear after the first setback. They feel motivated, but only when it's easy, fun, or new. But success doesn't come from motivation. It comes from discipline and consistency. Discipline means doing the work even when you don't feel like it. It means waking up early when your bed is warm. It means working on your goals while your friends are partying. It means saying no to distractions when your mind is begging for comfort. It means no shortcuts, no excuses, no emotional drama, just work. Quiet, repeated, relentless work. It's not glamorous. No one claps when you choose studying over scrolling. No one congratulates you for choosing the healthy option. No one celebrates your small, consistent steps. But that's what makes discipline powerful. Discipline is the silent war you fight alone that creates the loud success everyone notices later. Consistency is not perfection. It's not about being the best every day. It's about showing up even on your worst days. It's repeating the process even when progress feels invisible. It's watering the seed even when nothing seems to be growing, trusting that something is happening beneath the surface. Think of bamboo. For years, nothing appears above the ground. But beneath the soil, it is building strength. And then suddenly, it grows rapidly. Not because it was doing nothing before, but because it was preparing in silence. That's what your life will do when you stay disciplined and consistent. You must master discipline if you want to focus on yourself. Without discipline, you'll get distracted every time someone messages you. You'll break your promises to yourself whenever you feel tired. You'll quit whenever you're not in the mood. You'll lose focus as soon as things get difficult. But with discipline, you stop reacting to the world. You stop depending on motivation. You stop craving easy and start building strong. You take control of your mind, your choices, and your results. Discipline is how you stay loyal to yourself even when no one is watching. How to build discipline even if you've failed before. Start small but stay strict. Even 5 push-ups in the morning builds self-respect. Don't break the chain. Track your habits. Don't miss 2 days in a row. Even a 1-minute version is better than skipping entirely. Prepare your environment. Remove distractions before they remove your focus. Silence your phone. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Create a workspace that respects your goals. Learn to love the boring. Discipline isn't based on excitement. It's based on repetition. When you master boredom, you master success. Discipline is how you prove to your future self that you are serious. When you break promises to yourself, you lose trust in your own mind. But when you stay consistent, even with small actions, you rebuild that trust. And once you believe in yourself again, you become unbreakable. How small habits create massive success. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Everyone wants a big life, big success, big transformation. But very few want to do what truly creates that life. Tiny, invisible, boring habits repeated daily. The world sells you the idea of instant success. A viral moment, a big opportunity, a lucky break. But behind every so-called overnight success are years of small, quiet, repetitive actions no one sees. Success is not loud at the beginning. It is silent habit. Small habits are more powerful than most people realize. Waking up slightly earlier, reading a few pages a day, saying no to one distraction, drinking water instead of soda, spending 10 minutes reflecting instead of scrolling. These seem tiny. They seem insignificant. But over a year, they transform your life. 10 minutes a day becomes 60 hours of growth. One new word a day becomes hundreds of new ideas. A single daily workout becomes complete physical transformation. One focused hour a day becomes mastery. Small habits are the invisible architecture of massive success. This step matters deeply for self-focus. You cannot focus on yourself if your life is built on chaos. Habits create structure. Structure creates focus. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates transformation. Without habits, you forget your goals. You rely on emotion. You burn out. You feel stuck. With habits, growth becomes automatic. Your mind sharpens. Your confidence rises. You begin to trust yourself again. How to build life-changing habits. Make them too easy to fail. Start with small steps. Build the identity before the intensity. Become the type of person who does the action. Attach new habits to existing routines. After brushing your teeth, meditate. After lunch, read a page. Before sleep, review your day. Track your wins, not just your failures. Focus on what you did right. Let the habit become part of your identity. You are someone who keeps promises to yourself. Reward yourself, but not in ways that destroy you. Don't break your own momentum with choices that sabotage your progress. Reward yourself with growth, not with poison. Your habits are your true identity. You are not defined by what you say, but by what you do consistently when no one is watching. The most successful people in the world didn't just dream big. They mastered the small, mundane actions no one ever applauds. If you want a focused life, a strong mind, and a powerful future, start with the next 10 minutes. Then repeat it tomorrow. Then again the day after that. That's how your life changes. Quietly, gradually, and permanently. Embracing solitude for self-growth. Most people are terrified of being alone. They fill every quiet moment with endless scrolling, constant noise, mindless calls, or anything that keeps silence away, because silence forces them to confront the thoughts they've been trying to outrun. But solitude is not punishment. It is a doorway to growth. It's where you meet your real self, not the version that performs or hides or tries to impress. Just you, raw, honest, unfiltered. People avoid solitude because when you're alone, your distractions die. And when distractions die, truth rises. You finally hear the pain you buried, the dreams you abandoned, the voice you silenced. Solitude doesn't create pain. It reveals what was already there. And that's exactly why you need it. You cannot heal what you refuse to face. You cannot grow in constant noise. When you embrace solitude, your thoughts sharpen. You react less and reflect more. Your decisions become clearer and your emotions steadier. You stop seeking validation and start hearing your own voice. You reconnect to your purpose, your values, your desires. You begin to protect your energy because you finally understand its worth. Solitude isn't isolation, it's preparation. Before every transformation in nature, there is silence. A caterpillar transforms alone in a cocoon. A seed rises after growing in darkness. Growth begins in quiet spaces. You don't need more people or more noise. You need more of yourself. If solitude feels uncomfortable at first, that's normal. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because you're disconnected from yourself. At first, the silence may feel heavy, but soon it becomes your teacher. Eventually, it becomes your superpower. How to practice true solitude. Take silent walks with no phone or music. Just observe. Have one day each week without social media or constant conversation. Sit with your thoughts, even the painful ones. Let them rise, pass, and teach you. Create one peaceful space at home where no devices are allowed. Just calm and presence. The version of you that you've been searching for is waiting in your quiet moments. Solitude will remove illusions but rebuild identity. It will show you what you've been avoiding and give you the strength to confront it. You cannot focus on yourself if you're constantly running from yourself. Stop running. Start listening. Start growing. Accept what and how you are. We live in a world addicted to comparison. Every scroll exposes someone who looks better, speaks better, lives louder, or seems happier. And slowly, without noticing, you begin to dislike your own reflection. You feel too quiet, too emotional, too strange, too late, too different. The fastest way to lose yourself is trying to become someone else. You can't focus on yourself if you secretly dislike who you are. You can't grow if you believe you're broken. You can't heal if you decide you're unworthy of love or success. The foundation of all progress is one decision. I accept myself fully, honestly, and unapologetically. Acceptance doesn't stop growth, it strengthens it. Growth rooted in shame sounds like, I'll be enough once I fix this. I'll be lovable once I change. I'll be worthy when I achieve more. Growth rooted in love sounds like, I deserve peace now. I can love myself as I improve. I am worthy today, not later. You are not a problem to solve. You are not a project to repair. You are a story still unfolding. Someone's inability to recognize your worth doesn't reduce it. Sometimes you were simply offering gold to people who only value glitter. Begin self-acceptance by recognizing that the voice that criticizes you isn't truly yours. It was planted in you by experiences, comparisons, and people who never understood your worth. You have the power to silence it. Celebrate your progress, not only perfection. The fact that you're even trying to grow shows you care. Stop asking the wrong people for approval. You don't need permission to love yourself. Your worth is not determined by public opinion. Look at your flaws with compassion. They aren't failures. They are fingerprints of your journey. You cannot hate yourself into a version you would love. Stop reshaping your soul to fit someone else's standards. Stop believing you need to change just to be accepted. Stop thinking you're behind just because someone else looks ahead. Your focus will return when your self-judgment ends. The person you're trying so hard to become is already within you, waiting, hurting, longing to be accepted. Not later, not after perfection. Now. So start now. Look in the mirror and say, I accept myself even as I'm still becoming. That is not weakness. That is the beginning of healing. Never stop learning, growing, and experiencing. Most people grow up and then stop growing. They finish school, get a job, make just enough to survive, and fall into routines that slowly drain the fire from their life. Then they wonder why they feel stuck, bored, unmotivated, or unfulfilled. It's not always depression or failure. Often it's stagnation, the quiet death of curiosity. You weren't meant to stop evolving after a certain age. You weren't designed to repeat the same year of life over and over. You were built to explore, learn, stretch beyond comfort, and become more than you were yesterday. When was the last time you learned something new simply because your spirit needed it? When was the last time you tried something uncomfortable not to impress others, but to wake yourself up? When you stop learning, your mind becomes predictable, your confidence shrinks, your dreams dim, and your routine becomes a cage. But when you start growing again, even slowly, everything begins to shift. Not instantly, but powerfully. Most people mistake growth for performance. They think it means reading stacks of books, chasing titles, posting achievements, or mastering impressive skills. But real growth is quieter. It happens in private, in silence, in the moments no one else sees. Real growth is choosing calm where you once chose anger, saying no where you once said yes out of guilt, standing up again after falling apart, showing up without applause, becoming more intentional, less reactive, and more aligned with your truth. That's the growth that reshapes your identity. Learning sharpens your mind, protects your peace. It strengthens your decisions, keeps you curious instead of bitter. It shifts your focus back to your own path rather than comparing it to someone else's. It replaces the addiction to validation with an addiction to evolution. For powerful ways to continue growing, lean into discomfort. Do small things that make you uneasy. Ask questions, try new ideas, admit when you don't know. Growth begins where ego ends. Keep a 1% better journal. Each night, write one way you grew that day. Progress becomes clearer when you track it. Change your environment. Explore new places, attend events, watch something educational, or try a new setting. New surroundings refresh the mind. Be willing to be wrong. If your ego rejects correction, your mind stays small. Humility creates expansion. Stagnation feels like sadness. Growth feels like peace. Most people aren't truly sad. They're stuck in a comfortable routine that slowly drains their spirit. If you want to focus on yourself again, don't just overthink or scroll endlessly. Start learning, exploring, and moving. Your next level isn't in your current comfort zone. It's waiting on the other side of growth. Practice everyday heroism, even when no one sees it. In a world obsessed with attention, we've forgotten the power of silent victories. The private battles you survive, the moments you push through without telling anyone. Those are heroic. Real heroes aren't the ones in the spotlight. They are the ones who keep going even when no one is watching, helping, or cheering. Getting out of bed while battling anxiety. Showing up to work while your mind feels heavy. Caring for others while carrying your own invisible pain. Smiling at people when you haven't smiled at yourself in weeks. Practicing your passion with no audience. No applause, no validation. That is courage. You are not lazy. You are not a failure. You're tired because you've been a silent hero for too long. Now it's time to acknowledge yourself. When you focus on your own path, you lose the crowd, the approval, the easy validation. You may feel alone. You may wonder if any of it matters. It does. Your consistency is changing you, sculpting you, preparing you. Your private work is building your future. You just haven't arrived yet, but you are on your way. How to practice everyday heroism. Do something good without telling anyone. One silent act of kindness means more than 100 loud ones. Track your private victories. The days you showed up when it was hard, those are the true accomplishments. Don't compare your journey with someone else's highlights. They show the ending. You're living the process. Celebrate yourself quietly. You don't need permission or applause. You just need the truth. I'm proud of myself. I didn't quit. If all you did today was keep going, you did enough. Many people give up at the first sign of difficulty, but you didn't. You've carried pain while healing, worked while doubting, dreamed while hiding, and still you're here. That makes you extraordinary. Don't let the world redefine greatness as noise and fame. The quiet ones who build through struggle, who continue despite pain, who rise without applause, those are the ones who become unstoppable. You care too much and it's draining you. One of the main reasons people lose focus on themselves is simple. They care too much. Too much about opinions. Too much about making everyone happy. Too much about being liked, approved, accepted, understood. Too much about fixing others. Too much about not wanting to be seen as a bad person. And when you care too much, you overthink messages, replay conversations, blame yourself for everything, and carry guilt that never belonged to you. When you care more about other people's comfort than your own, you start saying yes when your whole body is begging you to say no. You stop living your life and start living in response to everyone around you. Over time, you burn out. You break. You forget how to breathe for yourself. You're a good person with a soft heart. You want peace, harmony, and connection. That's beautiful. But when your caring turns into self-abandonment, you cross a dangerous line. There is a difference between kindness and self-destruction, between loyalty and self-betrayal, between being a giver and becoming a doormat. What does caring too much look like? You apologize for things that aren't your fault. They mistreat you, yet you're the one saying sorry just to keep the peace. You're afraid to set boundaries because you fear they'll leave, get upset, or call you selfish. You try to save people who don't want to be saved. You show up for people who vanish when you need them. You feel guilty for taking care of yourself. Every time you say no or choose rest, guilt rushes in. You feel responsible for everyone's emotions, carrying their moods and their pain as if it's all your fault. This is how silent emotional damage forms, not always from abuse but from overcaring. When you care too much, you ignore your own needs. You tolerate disrespect. You waste energy on the wrong people. You become addicted to approval. You forget your own voice. You wake up thinking about others and go to bed worrying about them. You dim your light so others can stay comfortable in their darkness. Slowly, you disappear. So how do you stop caring too much without becoming cold? Pause before saying yes. If your body tenses, your gut clenches, or your energy drops, it's a no. Stop betraying yourself. Stop explaining your no. You don't owe anyone a story for protecting your time. Let people misunderstand you. You're not here to manage their opinions. You're here to live in truth. Remember, you are not someone's therapist, savior, or emotional crutch. You can love people without becoming responsible for their emotional maturity. Check in with yourself. Ask, am I giving from love or from fear? If it's fear, fear of losing them, fear of judgment, fear of conflict, pause. You're not exhausted because you're weak. You're exhausted because you've been giving your soul to people who never deserved that depth of you. Now it's time to give that soul back to yourself. You can care. You can love. You can be kind. But not at the cost of your health, your peace, or your identity. This isn't about becoming colder. It's about becoming clearer. Because if someone truly loved you, you wouldn't have to destroy yourself to keep them. Detachment is one of the most advanced emotional skills. Not coldness, not indifference, not arrogance, but emotional clarity. Detachment says, I love you, but I don't need you to complete me. I want this, but I don't need it to define me. I'm committed, but I'm not controlled. If it ends, I won't break because I didn't abandon myself along the way. We cling to relationships, jobs, lifestyles, validation, plans, and futures we can't control. And when those things leave or change, we collapse, not just because we lost them, but because we lost the identity we built on them. Detachment prevents that collapse. It doesn't protect you from love. It protects your soul from destruction. Detachment means you enjoy people but don't depend on them for self-worth. If they stay, wonderful. If they leave, you remain whole. You work hard, but results don't define you. You commit to growth, but you allow timelines to shift. You no longer chase rigid expectations, you allow flow. You express your feelings, but you don't beg for reciprocation. You speak your truth and let others show you who they are. This is freedom. Without detachment, you panic when plans change. You beg people to stay. You chase closure from those who already closed the door. But with detachment, you become grounded, you choose better, you attract better, you recover faster. You stop overthinking and start observing. You return to yourself. Pause before reacting. Detachment means responding with wisdom, not fear. Observe without judgment. Notice your emotions without letting them rule you. Let people go with love, not resentment. You don't need to hate them. You just need to love yourself more. Remind yourself, what is meant for me will find me. This isn't spiritual fluff, it's emotional maturity. Sometimes you're not attached to the person but to the fantasy you created. You're not hard to love. You've simply been loving people who cannot love at your level. Detachment doesn't make you heartless. It makes you free. Free to walk away. Free to breathe again. Free to choose yourself even when it hurts. Free to live with less control and more trust. You cannot focus on yourself if your mind is chained to people, memories, and situations that no longer belong in your life. Let go. Loosen your grip. What's meant for you isn't hiding. It simply can't reach you while your hands are busy holding ghosts. Take a deep breath. Look at where you are. You've faced hard truths. You've sat with pain. You've confronted what has been holding you back. You are not the same person who began this journey. You now carry clarity, courage, focus, and peace. You don't owe anyone your energy anymore. You don't owe your past your loyalty. You don't owe pain your attention. You owe yourself one thing, a life that feels true. So go restart. Go rebuild. Go focus. Go love yourself so loudly that the world can hear your silence. Rise without guilt, without fear, without shame, because you earned this. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not broken. You are becoming. This is your time. This is your sign. This is your restart. Now go take your life back. The world will adjust. It always does.